So David, a 2-0 win against Runcorn Linnets today, that's a really big result for the team today.
Huge result. Momentum's important. Last week we were off, didn't give us a chance to build on the Clitheroe game, talked about the programme notes, and today we had to really hit the ground running against a very good Runcorn Linnets side and pick up a win, try and build some momentum. We've been very stuttery, we've been very stop-start, we've had streaks like in previous seasons, and what we need to do now is get on one of those winning streaks as we head towards the business end of the season. So massive result, makes Whitton huge next week, but we go into that with a bit of confidence now. So it's all positive.
It's you said about streaky performances, and we go through these bits where we're not good and then we're great. But there's a stat that comes out, and it's I think it's Simo on Sports who tweets about it quite regularly. It feels like a really wild stat as well that we're now 11 clean sheets this season, and probably goes underrated the performances at the defence and the keepers that we've had as well that have put in this time.
Yeah, it surprises me every time I see it, but then when you start to think about how we've played this season, the performances we've put in, we've been good for an awful lot of games. We've lost a few games by the odd goal, and we've had a couple of really poor performances where we've shipped a few goals, and it's that shipping a few goals where you think, we've been a bit poor at the back. But we haven't. Generally, we're pretty solid. You know, we saw that again today. Finn made one really good save, but they didn't really create much beyond that, because every time they go around our box, Mark Lees put a block in, or Matt Cardach put a block in, or Jack Marrow, Adam Sherrick, Cass when he came on. We defended incredibly well. Our midfielders were working hard and breaking things up. And I think you're right. I think he goes unnoticed a little bit. And we've chopped and changed a little bit at the back as well. As you say, we've had different keepers come in. Paul Day's contributed to that. Russ Saunders has contributed to that. Finn's been excellent this season. So it's been a real team effort to get that. But it gives you a solid base to build on. And what you need then is your match winners to turn up. And today they did. That's the difference. The difference between that today and Avro, realistically, was our match winners turned up. We had a couple of big chances and we converted them. We probably had maybe 3 or 4 big chances. We scored 2. Avro, we probably had 5 and didn't score. And that's the big difference.
And talking about finishing chances, you've got match winners across that front 4 really. But today, Obbs was the one who stood up, and for someone who's probably been criticised, not when he's been here at previous clubs for inconsistency, but he's really turning into a consistent high performer for us.
Yeah, anybody who criticises a player at the 8th level of English football for being inconsistent needs their head tested. If players were turning up week in, week out, putting in 9 out of 10 performances, they wouldn't be playing at Moslem. That's absolutely clear. There are plenty of teams within a 10-mile radius sphere who would snap them up. Players are here because they've got talent, but they're either trying to find the way in the game because they're young, or they're inconsistent, or they're talented but not fit, or they're really good athletes but they're perhaps lacking a little bit of quality. With Obbs, I think it's a little bit of just getting consistency out of him by making him feel loved. I think he is that type of player. He needs an arm around him, and we've talked a lot about how important he is to us, and we've built a system and a side that plays to his strengths. Obbs is one of our key players. We've given him a platform. We've allowed him to make mistakes. He is going to make mistakes. He isn't going to be perfect every week, but we allow that. We don't criticise him. We don't get on his back. And the reward you get is the performances like today. And the reward you get is somebody who goes round and signs every autograph with every kid, who's taking selfies for 15 minutes after the games, who's in the clubhouse with the young mascots now. That's all those things that go unnoticed. These are lads who work all week, who are turning up here for getting a couple of quid, but it's not life-changing money, but they're turning up and they're putting in a shift because they enjoy being here. And you can see that. You can see when he plays with a smile on his face, the difference it makes. So, people criticising Obbs or other players, I've got no time for it.
And solid performances all round, but we sort of touched on him last week at Clitheroe, 2 weeks ago at Clitheroe, but Teddy Lavelle's come in, looks a natural, looked really good again today.
I brought Teddy in with one eye playing the centre back, but I'm not sure that'll be happening because he looks so good in that holding midfield role alongside Bailey. His touch and pass for the second goal was superb. I thought the fact that he opened his body up, his first touch just took him past the midfielder, and then the vision and quality to execute the pass. But he did that 2 or 3 times. He's a great size, he breaks things up well. He's very, very calm. There's one in the first half, bit scramble around our box, and broke to him, and he had a touch. got his head up, looked out, picked a pass, and you just think that's unbelievable maturity for a 19-year-old. But when I spoke to Teddy and I spoke to his dad, and I was looking to bring him in on loan from Halifax, talks about the fact he's got 50, 60 games at this level under his belt. So actually, as a 19-year-old, he's actually played an awful lot of football, and I think that shows. And by the end of this season, he's going to be close to 100 games, you would imagine, and that gives him a really good platform for a really bright future in the game.
And then we move on. You've already said Whitton away next week is a big game. How do you prepare for that? What are your thoughts on that one ahead of the game?
I mean, we won't have any different personnel. The personnel we have today will be the personnel that we've got for next week. We need to look at a couple of little knocks that were picked up today. The players will, Tuesday we'll do the fitness stuff, Thursday we'll have them in, we'll work on a few bits that we want for weekend, but our focus this year has always been about what we do well. I think Whitton will suit us in many ways because it's a really good surface, but we go into a Whitton Albion side in high confidence. Another win today. They're scoring goals. They look a really, really solid outfit. So it'll be a tough game, but it's a game we talked to the players after this game. It's now taken on added importance. We need to build momentum. We need to go into that game with some confidence, but we need to do all the things we did well today. We did well at Clitheroe. It's working hard, playing with intensity, getting around the ball, winning seconds, and then moving the ball with pace. And that's when I think we're at our best, and we'll focus on that in the week, and we'll look to take that into next Saturday.
And then on a final note, some things are bigger than football. And today, I suppose there's two points to it. So obviously we've had the mascot, which was Josh Duckworth, and a really important sort of message around that, and the story around that is really important. But I probably just want to shine a light not only on Josh, because he's a great kid, but on Mark Lees as a captain and the role that he's played in sort of bringing him here, and just as a man, what sort of man he is.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear this Josh's story, and we heard it at Bootle, it's absolutely heartbreaking. He's a lovely young boy. It's a great family. They're doing everything they can to make his life as enjoyable for him as he can, whilst he can still enjoy it. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see. When Lee's heard that, he was close to tears. He was understandably, he's a dad. He kind of gets that. And he wanted to do something to try and make a difference and have an impact. And we invited him over. No credit from me. Mark Lees invited him over for the Bootle game here, and he couldn't make that. So Mark, and I know you worked with him, made sure we could find another game that was suitable and get them over. And just spoke to his dad in the clubhouse, and he's had a great day. And it's down to Mark. It's down to other individuals as well. You need to take some credit yourself, because I know you've helped behind the scenes. But for me, that's what this club is about. You're right, things bigger than football. Actually, the impact that you can have on a young person's life, and we've had James as a mascot as well today, local lad, Mosley Mad, and he's having the time of his life up there in the clubhouse now, sat with the players, and they're the things that matter. Nobody will remember the score of this game in 10 years' time, but those two young lads will. That's something that will stick with them, and that they're the things that really matter. None of the other things. Yes, we won't always have a great performance. Yes, we won't always get the results we want, but we can have an impact, and I think we're doing that really well. And Mark is absolutely key to that as captain. He's everything you want on the dressing room, in the dressing room, on the pitch, and everything around the club. So every credit to him. He's kind of puts almost can't find the words to describe how proud I am to have him as captain of the club, because he's just a superb man.
And it shows the work that you, the coaches, the rest of the team, Alex and Phil and Johnny and Chloe and Andy have all put in to bring a dressing room, because Josh's experience today, it's led by Mark, but you see the way that the subs have been when they're warming up with him, all of that. It's a really nice group of people that you've put together. We worked really hard to make sure we got the right characters, and a couple of lads have come in and gone out this year because they didn't quite fit the mould we were looking for in terms of person, not in terms of football, in terms of person. We put a lot of stock in the character of people. The dressing room really does manage itself. We've worked hard to recruit, and we've worked hard to set a culture, but then and I talk about this all, the leads in the dressing room, Mark, Brewster, Shep, Reese, they're the guys who are really influential. Mason, they're the senior players who really kind of police the dressing room and build that culture and make sure that we actually deliver what we want to deliver. And
came in here before the game, and you and I have been talking. I came in and the mascots were already in seeing the players and the buzz around it, the way that the players were fussing around them, making them feel special. That's because the players want to do it. That's because the players have bought into it. That's nothing to do with me telling them to do it. You don't need to. It just happens because they're that kind of people. They're those kind of blokes, and that for me is every bit as important as what goes on in the once we cross the white line. I think we have to have a squad of players that we can be proud of as a club, and I really do think we have this season.
Thanks, David.
Cheers, Nathan.